Hello, good morning, cadets. Kamusta man inyong formation ganina? Is it okay? Is it all right? Do you feel good or do you feel tired? All right. So, for the today's discussion, I will be your instructor. I am Sergeant Arjeli R. Dahilungsod, CER 20002832, Philippine Army Reserve. So, we will be having a virtual discussion today since we have power interruption or we don't have the power connection today. So, to make this discussion possible, we have agreed that we will just do it virtually. Now, our topic for today's discussion is Introduction to Military Justice System. I have already introduced myself to you. Now, why is it important to know about military justice system? So here is the answer. It is important to know about the military justice system on how we enforce discipline and administer justice in the military service. So, it kinahanglan kuno, it is very important to know about the military justice system because these will help us or this will guide us on how we will enforce discipline or how we impose discipline and how we regulate justice within the military justice. Right. So, do you get me? Next slide. So, this discussion will be a 1 hour session and have a 3 minutes break every 30 minutes. So, a total of 6 minutes break. So, these will be our roadmap. First, we will tackle about what is military justice system. Next is 2 distinct division of justice system. 3 categories of offenses. Now, the learning outcome. At the end of the session, you are expected to be able to identify the 3 categories of offenses and its punishment in a classroom instruction, in accordance with CS handbook within 5 minutes. So let's skip this one. Classroom rules. So I only have one classroom rule, and that is you to respect each other, your bodies, your senior officers, and of course the training staffs. So the lesson references is the AFP Manual for Courts Martial and PAM 1 to 10 Provost Martial. So now let's proceed to the lesson prepper. What is military justice system? So first we have military justice is the system for enforcing discipline and administering criminal law in the armed forces of the Philippines. So this is the system which will be a guide for enforcing discipline or imposing discipline, applying discipline within the armed forces of the Philippines and how criminal law is regulated in the armed forces of the Philippines. Next is the Articles of War. Define the offenses punishable under the law and prescribe the corresponding punishment. So in the Articles of War, herein is it is stipulated, written, those offenses that are punishable under the law and the corresponding punishment, ang kaakibat na mga parusa na ma-commit sa usa ka personnel under the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Next, let's proceed to the distinct division of justice system, and there are two: administrative cases and punitive cases. First, we have administrative cases. So, are those that result in the decision not involving penal sanction and may take such mild discipline or instructive forms as admonition, reprimand, and the likes. Those are usually disposed of all commanders from a detached unit to the highest command level. So these cases, if a personnel can commit this kind of cases, kung ano ni siya, mild, and dili kayo siya grabe og sanction if ever kakuha mo or makabuhat mo og ingon ani nga cases. And required only preponderance of evidence to gain punitive adjudication. So, if pananglitan ang usa ka personnel maka-commit og usa ka administrative case, if ever there are a lot of evidence that are really valid and is kanang strong evidence nga makaingon ang usa ka adjudicator nga punitive ni siya or grave ni siya nga sala nga iyang na-commit, then therefore makakuha siya og punitive adjudication. Next is punitive cases. Are those that result in judgment of fine, hard labor, deprivation of liberty, or combination of those whenever guilt of those involved are proven. Those are usually higher command level and matters. So in these cases, usually mao gyud ni ang iyang makuha nga judgment, either fine or hard labor and deprivation of liberty. Ang kaning hard labor is kanang tagaan siyang punishment sa high command level or the commanding officer sa either battalion commander or company commander or any commanding officer nga naa diha, then maka-give siya og kanang punishment like this: fine or hard labor, deprivation of liberty, or kana gani gideprive ang usa ka personnel for his or her freedom, and usually from higher command level. Required guilt to be proven beyond reasonable doubt. So if ever proven sa mga adjudicators with the strong and valid evidences, then it is proven that the convicted personnel is guilty. Now let's proceed to the next slide. So these are the punitive articles. And if you have much time or extra time, please do visit these articles. Article 54, fraudulent enlistment. Article 55, officer making unlawful enlistment. Article 56, false muster. Article 57, false return or omission to render returns. Article 58, acts to constitute desertion. Article 59, punishment for desertion. Article 60, advising and aiding another to desert. Article 61, entertaining a deserter. Article 62, absent without leave. Article 63, disrespect. Article 64, disrespect toward superior officer. Article 65, assaulting or willfully disobeying superior officer. Article 66, insubordinate conduct toward non-commissioned officer. Article 67, mutiny or sedition. Article 68, failure to suppress mutiny or sedition. Article 69, quarrels, frays, and disorders. Article 70, arrest or confinement. Article 71, charges, action upon charges. Article 72, refusal to receive and keep prisoners. Article 73, report of prisoners received. Article 74, releasing prisoners without proper authority. Article 75, delivery of offenders to civil authorities. Article 76, misbehavior before the enemy. Article 77, subordinate compelling commanders to surrender. Article 78, improper use of countersign. Article 79, forcing a safeguard. Article 80, captured property to be secured. Article 81, dealing in captured or abandoned property. Article 82, relieving, corresponding with, or aiding the enemy. Article 83, spies. So those are the punitive articles. So hopefully you can have extra time. Then you can visit these articles in the Google. Just Google it. Now let's proceed to the disciplinary powers of commanding officer under Article of VAR 105. The commanding officer of any detachment, company, battalion, or higher commander or such other officers as may be authorized by the President may, for minor offenses, impose disciplinary punishments to personnel in his command even without conduct of court martial. So ang kaning commanding officer has the power and is authorized by the president. So ang presidente na gyud ang nag-authorized ana niya nga he or she can give minor offenses, can impose disciplinary, and can give punishments to personnel. So dili mo magyano-yano ra aning commanding officer, or dili, for example sa ato alang unit sa Corps and Staff, ang Corps Commander is si Corps Casinto. So dili na ninyo yamangan kay alams na gyud paksit gid mong Corps. Next, we will have disciplinary powers of the commanding officer. So he or she can give disciplinary punishment. Suspension and mitigation of punishment. So if ang commanding officer can give a disciplinary punishment, then he or she has the only power to suspend your punishment or to lessen your punishment, to mitigate your punishment. Next is a right to appeal, not a bar to court martial, deferment from promotion or iyahang kanang tawag ani iyahang murag tawag ani stop ang promotion, ihang i-suspend somewhat inana ang ihang kuan. Failure on the part of the commanding officer. Other offenses, Article 105, or minor offenses. So, now let's talk about the rights of the respondent. Unsa ang mga kanang right sa respondent sa makakuha sa punishment. So, first is he or she has the right to be notified of the fact that he or she is considered for separation pursuant to Executive Order number 475. So, naay katungod ang usa ka respondente or usa ka convicted personnel nga makahibaw nga he is considered for separation. Next is accused is permitted to counsel of his own choice. So, he has the right, or he or she is the right to accused is permitted counsel for his own choice. So, makapili siya og iyahang counsel to defend him or her. Next is the right to appear before the board personally or through counsel. So, nasad siya katungod nga magpakita sa board or to speak personally to the board or to the council. Next is to present any fact, argument, or witness in his behalf or any other matter pertaining to his case. So, of course, ang usa ka respondente or ang usa ka kanang accused personnel sa AFP or bisan asa pa nimo makuanan naagyud bisag ana gani isa kanang barangay lang ug maghiakihan na man jud he or she has the right nga mo presenta og mga evidences, mga facts, arguments or witnesses nga maka defend niya on his behalf. Parang mas either ma-lessen ang iyahang ang punishment or unguilty siya sa case nga gi-accused niya. Next is to be informed of all evidences, changes, and reports against him and be given full opportunity to refute the same. So, bisag asa man nga kuan nga court or kanang kaso-kaso, the respondent has the right to be informed, to be notified with all the evidences nga presented sa mga changes sa iyang kaso, sa mga reports against him para na makahatag sad siya og opportunity or he will be given the chance to oppose ato nga mga evidences nga naa nila or sa ni kuan anto niya ni accused niya ato nga committed sin kuno. Now, so Civilian Supremacy Act or Republic Act number 7055 or 7055. An act strengthening civilian supremacy over the military by returning to the civil courts the jurisdiction over certain offenses involving members of the armed forces of the Philippines, other persons subject to military law, and the members of the Philippine National Police, repealing for the purpose certain presidential decrees. So, ang kani nga balaod is kanang protection ni siya sa mga civilians over the mga authorized personnel like PNP or police, army, military, or all the members in the armed forces of the Philippines. Moning dili mura dili makasensayon og kana ang pusil or kanang take the life of that civilian ang mga authorized personnel because of this one. Next is Administrative Order number 40, prescribing guidelines for the treatment of the personnel of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police who are facing administrative charges. So these are the guidelines, or in this order, we can see the guidelines on how we are going to treat the personnel who are facing administrative charges. So, mauni ang mga guidelines sa mga adjudicators, sa mga board of judges, or sa kana ang judge, ug unsaon niya paghatag sa mga punishment sa katong naay administrative charges. So, this will be their guides. So, now we have gone far and we are in the categories of offenses. So, there are 3: minor offenses, less grave offenses, and grave offenses. Minor, dili kay grabing offense, and ang grabe na gyud nga offense. Og naa pa ni siya sa English, mo ni siya ang positive, comparative, and superlative. Mantingali. Or never mind that. Next is we have minor offenses. Admonition to demotion. So, admonition is warningan ra ka, and ang demotion is i-demote ka sa imuhang posisyon. Mao ni ang imuhang makuha nga charge or punishment if you commit a minor offense. 1 or alpha, advising, persuading, or assisting a wol. So, what is a wol? A wol is absence without official leave. So, inana gani og mo absent mo without the permission to leave your post, then you can get a minor offense. So, advisean pa mo, persuade pa mo nga dili na mag-absent without official leave. Bravo! A wol for less than 30 days provided that the same is the first offense. So, first offense pa to siya. Less than 30 days. Charlie, using threatening or insulting language or behaving in an insubordinate or disrespectful manner toward a non-commissioned officer. So, if you will do this, you can commit a minor offense. So, if you will use insulting language, may nga mo kaputot sa danan niya, itom sa danan niya, oy. If maka-timing mo o mga officer nga grabe ka stricto, then you will receive a minor offense. Delta, being found sleeping on post while performing garrison duty. So, if naagani mo sa duty, na dili gyud magtulog-tulog kay paksit gyud mo. Next, Echo, willfully destroying government property costing less than 1,000 pesos. So, if makaguba mo o government property like bangko, or makaguba mo sa lamisa sa office, so minor offense na siya. Then, Foxtrot, non-support to legitimate dependents. So, pananglitan, if personnel ka, nya minyo ka, nya dili ni mo suportahan ang imuhang mga anak or imuha bang pamilya, then you will have a minor offense. Golf, failure to salute a commissioned officer. So, if ever gani makasugat mo og commissioned officer niya, dili mo ka salute, you're not paying respect to that commissioned officer, then you will have a minor offense. Hotel, indiscriminate firing while not under the influence of liquor, provided that the same does not cause alarm or scandal. So if ever mag-firing mo diha, magpabuto mo sa inyong pusil, unya wala mo ma-influence sa liquor, minor offense pa na siya. So dili jud mo mag-firing in town or magpabuto na inyong pusil if wala moy or dili mo authorize nga magpabuto or mag-firing din ha. Next, we have less grave offense. Demotion to discharge. So, ang demotion, ipaubos pa imuhang ranggo. Ang kaning discharge, ipahawa ka sa imuhang ranggo. So, grabe-grabe yun ang iyahang punishment. So, alpha, a wolf for more than 30 days but less than 90 days. So, either makakuha mo og demotion or discharge ug naamoy 30 days nga absent, more than 30 days, unya less than 90 days, or pila man na kabuwan ang 90 days. 30, 60, or 3 months mo nga mag-absent. Bravo, indiscriminate firing under the influence of liquor but not causing alarm or scandal. So, nag-firing mo without authorized or dili authorized sa inyong higher officer, then nakainom pa gyud mo, but wala mo ka hatag og kanang kakuyaw sa mga civilians, then less grave offense pa to siya. Either ma-demote mo or discharge. Next is willfully destroying government property costing more than 1,000 pesos but less than 5,000 pesos. So, if ever makaguba mo og kuan property sa government nga more than na siya sa 1,000 and lower 5,000, then less grave offense na siya. Using threatening or insulting language or behaving in subordinate or disrespectful manner toward a commissioned officer. So dili lagi dili ninyo bugal-bugalan ana na lang. Dili ninyo bugal-bugalan ang inyuhang mga officer kay paksit gyud mo gyud. Echo, abandonment and non-support of legitimate family not coupled with immorality. So, ang legal nga family, iyahagi nang gi-abandon or wala niya suportahe, then makakuha siya og demotion or discharge nga punishment. Next is foxtrot, sleeping on post while on field duty. Na ayaw jud lagi pagkatog-katog kay paksit gyud mo basin na wa gyud mo kay ba og unsay mahitabo. So dili dili gyud in town magkatulog-katulog while on the field duty. Next, we have grave offenses, dishonorable discharge. So this is the worst kay gi-discharge na gani wala pa gyud honori ang inyong service within the AFP. So a wolf for more than 30 days or more and trial by court-martial is deemed inadvisable. So, dili absent. Next is assaulting a commissioned or non-commissioned officer or imuhang nakakos kag harm or imuhang bahara ng usa ka commissioned or non-commissioned officer. Dili, it's a no gyud. Indiscriminate firing committed under the influence of liquor and causing alarm and scandal. So dili gyud mag inom-inom in town kay na wala mo kay ba og unsay mahitabo or wala mo kay ba og unsa mo og makainom. So for to be safety, for your safety, dili if ever on duty unya na mo yung mga pusil dinha nga gitakin, dili gyud mag-inom-inom kay basin ma-discharge mo without honor. Next is pregnancy out of wedlock for female enlisted personnel. So, in town, mga babaji, dili mo magpataka ragbusya dinha. Kasal una, usa ma buntis. So, karon sa ato ang generation karon murag ginormalize naman na no nga okay raman nga kanang kuan kanang sitaw gani mabuntis nga wala pay kasal, proud pa kayo, proud kay tanan #blessings on has Facebook magpost dayon. So ayaw in town paningkamuti nga makasal daan usa mabuntis, girls, especially girls, and boys hunahunaan ninyo nga gaeskwela pa mo ug mabuntis na ninyong uyab. Asa mo pa dong mama gihapon, looy kay si mama nagpa-eskwela pa, gitagaan pagdugang problema. So timan nga dili lalim magpa-eskwela and laban in town mo sa pinangkamutan sa inyuhang ginikanan. Dili sa magbuntis-buntis ug dili sa pabuntisan ang uyab. Next sa ECHO, commissioned or overt homosexual act and other acts of sexual perversion. So, for those who are homosexual, so ato lang likayan nga maglaw-ay kay dili na siya pwede sa military. Dili, as far as I know, dili pwede ang mga homosexual. I'm not discriminating the LGBTQ plus A community, but under the Armed Forces of the Philippines, homosexual is not allowed or prohibited. Foxtrot, maintaining sexual relation with a woman or man other than his or her legitimate spouses. So, upon reading this, I realize nga dili day na siya pwede nga naay daghang lalaki or daghang babae ang mga military, no, kay as kasagaran sa ato ang nahibaw-an, ang mga military kuno is daghang or mga army or any other kanaang ana sila ang motto daw anang mga military personnel or AFP personnel, every place replace. Ug asa sila madistino, tuara didto ug naasa ang ilang anak nagbuwag nasa Luzon, Visayas ug Mindanao. So either if para nila nindot to siya, but in the military it's a no-no. Base no may lagid sila mutago kay wala man gid sila masakpe, but in the military dili siya pwede di ay siya pwede nga daghan di ay kinahanglan loyal ra gyud. So kamo in town Charies pag loyal ko no. Golf, commission of any crime punishable under the revised penal code. So if you can commit any crime punishable under the revised penal code, so kanang grabe na gyud ka kuan inyuhang grabe nga sa unlawful na siya, then you can have grave offenses or can receive a grave offense. Hotel, any specific act of misconduct, disorder, or neglect which brings discredit to the Philippine Army in particular and the AFP in general. So for example, nagubat dito pananglitan sa militar sa Mindanao. Ay example lang nato dito sa katong Marawi siege man tingali dito. Pananglitan ng imong mga kauban, imong mga kabady dito is perti ng rakrak dito, nag-exchange na of fire. Nagmaayo dito, nagnakrakay, nagmaayo niya. Ikaw dito, nitago sa ilawom sa asa ka mutago o niya, imuharang gi pusil-pusil dito, bisag asa imong pusil paron ingnon nga, ni apil ka sa kuan niya, himan-himan da ito. Nitago ra ka dito sa ilawom sa kuan, sa lamisa baron, or sa unsa ba ka nitago. So, dili na siya pwede. Kaya ang naana sa sa military discipline and courtesy or bali ba military courtesy and discipline kada diyan military courtesy and discipline nga brave ang mga Philippine Army, brave ang mga military. So ang kanang pagtinalawan is a misconduct or neglection of your duty as an army. So if ever nga makuanan o ma-proven sa og strong evidence, ma-proven nga guilty gyud ka ana through the presented strong documents, then you will have a grave offense or you will receive a dishonorable discharge. So as an army or as a personnel of the Philippine Army, it is kanang kuan sakit kayo sa part kay dili lalim ang masod sa Philippine Army unya ma-discharge ka without honor. Sus in town, Ginoo, kasakit. Sakit panas mabuwagan. So nakuha ra. Next we have, so kani siya ang mga punishments nga ma-receive nimo if ever makakumit ka og mga ingon ani sa katong ako ang discuss ganina earlier pagod my God. Number of days of awol, then minimum punishment, medium punishment, and maximum punishment. So 1 to 6 days, admonition pa. Reprimand sa 3 to 4 days, then 5 to 6 days, restriction to limit not more than 15 days with extra fatigue. 7 to 12 days, restriction to limit not less than 15 days with extra fatigue, meaning na mga extra mahatagan o mga extra works. Then 9 to 10 days hard labor of not more than 15 days without confinement. So hard labor, suguon ka diag maayo o unsa lay trip sa military nimo may isugo mo. Detention or confinement of not more than 15 days with hard labor not more than 15 days. 13 to 20 days, detention or confinement not more than 15 days with hard labor not less than 15 days. So, kanang, let's not read this kanitanan, kamo nalay basa ani kay sabotable or understandable raman ni nga mga words. O, gikan sa awol nimo 1 to 90 days. Ang diri sa 90 days discharged from the military service without honor na gid siya, grave offense naman. Good siya. Next is offense, then minimum and maximum. Table of administrative disposition for AW 94. Various offenses. So, these are the offenses. Kaning fraudulent commission or enlistment, awol, drunkenness, entering off-limit place, abandonment or non-support, immorality, malicious mischief, act of lasciviousness, rape or abduction or seduction, bigamy, alarms and scandal, illegal possession of deadly weapons, discharge of FA unjustified, grave threats, coercion and harassment, mauling, physical injuries, malversation, falsification, swaddling, insubordination, disrespect, corrupt, irregular activities, breach of contract, smuggling, extortion, mutilating, failure to pay just debt, fabrication of evidence, a superior failure to act, reported case of abuse or subordination, other misconduct. So those are offenses that you will probably or maybe hopefully not nga inyuhang makumit. Then the corresponding punishment, either minimum or maximum. So I guess this is the end of my discussion, and the next one is an assessment for you to have. But dili na ta mo kan ana. I will have a separate form, maybe Word doc for you to answer, and or I will just give it face to face, the exam or the quiz. So hopefully you have learned in today's discussion. Those are the 3 offenses, 2 distinction of military justice, and what is military justice. So hopefully you have learned something today. You have grasped something important today. So thank you so much for listening. Hope you have a good day ahead, and keep safe, everyone. If you have a motorcycle, please drive safely. Don't be a reckless driver because we only have one life. Dili ta pares iri nga siyam kuno kabuok kinabuhi ana. So maghinay in town ta sa pagpauli. So thank you so much. God bless and ciao. Adios.